You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming. It's Sylving on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you to the Let's Play episode of Sylving. And as you can see, the menu screen has changed. That's pretty cool, so maybe it'll evolve as the story continues. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. The clients were the boy's parents who had hoped some physical training would help their son to become more disciplined. He knew the basics, but was too impatient to learn other fundamental skills, making it difficult for Agnar to teach him. He would go all out in every session, making wild swings and flashy attacks that would leave him wide open. When Agnar told him about the mistakes and how to improve, he would be told how bad he was at training him. In the end, he was paid only half the agreed-upon fee, and berated for how much Agnar could take the swordplay. If I had to train someone like that, I would have given up on the second day. A week later, it came out that his family, who had had enough of his behavior, had sent him off to the army. Agnar wasn't the first to train him, and the other teachers had gotten the same results. Thankfully, Agnar was given the rest of his payment, so it ended well enough for him. He lets out a sigh, saying that he's not angry. He just wished he could have done more for him. I hope that guy learns not to be such a jerk to his tutors. Agnar's being way too forgiving towards him, in my opinion. He lets go of the conversation, so we just enjoy the meal before it gets cold. I finish up my bowl. I feel much better now with a belly full of warm food. Agnar is finishing off his third bowl. Not surprising, someone his size needs to get plenty to eat. Mikkel's still not back, so I pull out my phone to check if it still works. I swipe the screen with my thumb, accidentally scratching it with my claw and leaving a rather noticeable gash. Darn it, I need to be super careful with these claws if I want to still have a phone after all this. There's no signal, so internet call and text are a no-go. At least the screen is turned on. The battery is now half empty. Not bad for without charging for 3 days. Checking the camera, it looks like everything's working fine. I glance up at Agnar as he finishes his last bowl. Is it alright if I take a photo of you? Photo? A picture. Why would you start painting before leaving? It'll take much too long to finish. Not exactly. I wave my phone around, which Agnar regards curiously. My phone can make one in a second. I'm pretty sure it's the black mirror Mikkel was talking about. So just act natural and smile for the camera. It won't hurt, will it? Don't worry, it's harmless. I just want to have something to remember this place by. And you want to make one of me? I'm flattered, but I'm not worthy of such a thing. There are better uses for your photo magic. Well, you're the first incredible thing I saw when I woke up here. That to me is worth remembering. The wolf looks flustered. His eyes light up and he grins from ear to ear. His tail wags behind him, thumping against the wooden bench. Seeing him smile so innocently, I can't help but think how cute he is. Cute big wolf man. I hold up my phone and quickly snap a picture. Perfect, this turned out great. What, already? Yep, that's it. Oh. Huh. Something wrong? Not wrong per se, I was just expecting something more otherworldly to happen. Sorry, but it's just a phone. These weren't made to be all that grand when using them. Oh, y'all. Such good. So coffee. Oh my god, words fail me. But the picture looks great. Here, have a look. I have returned. The front door flies open, the fox entering with a spring in his step. Welcome back, Lord Mikkel. I trust you bear good news. Take a look and see for yourself. He's kind of built himself. With a flourish, he pulls out the cloak and proudly presents it to us. She mended it perfectly. You can't even tell it was torn to begin with. Good, then all that's left is return to the cave safely without drawing attention to ourselves. And we'll have our Sylving friend back to his people in no time. Again, I'm right here, and my name is Aron, not Sylving. Right, Aron, pardon me. It's my first time actually talking to your kind. Before we leave, could you tell us how your kind traveled through the gates the first time? It would give me a better understanding for my next trip. My lord, you need to show more consideration. He needs to leave before anyone realizes what he is. But now may be our only chance to actually ask one directly. If we intend to help solve the great conflict in our world, we need to learn more about their powers. I know you want this just as much as I do. And you promised not to drag anyone into this, and look what happened. I did not drag Aron here. He chased me. There's a difference. Agnar lets out a grunt of frustration. Even though Mikkel is technically correct, it doesn't change the fact that I'm here because of him. I have no clue what you mean by powers and gates and all that. I'm pretty sure nobody else from my world does either. Why do you say that? Your world is filled with all sorts of magical artifacts. You must know something. If people were turning into lions back home, I wouldn't have gotten a heart attack just from seeing you guys. Perhaps you unconsciously used one of your many powers when you crossed the veil. Listen, I can't answer these questions when I don't even know what's going on. I'm so tired of this and just want things to go back to normal. Just let me go home, please. Agnar walks over to get the sack on the floor. Mikkel looks away sheepishly and stays quiet. We should strive to return before it gets dark. Now is the best time to depart. Aron, here. Here's what we're going to do. You'll get in this sack and remain as still as silent as possible. I will carry you to the cave. It's best that you stay out of sight. The more others see you, the more you'll pique their curiosity, and they might start spreading rumors. Even though there'll be more people in the afternoon, traveling at night is a lot more conspicuous, not to mention dangerous. Lord Mikkel and I are supposed to be helping with the preparations for the hunt. We'll use that as an excuse for the trip, since going to the forest is expected of us. I know being carried around in an old sack isn't exactly pleasant, but it really is our best option right now. It has a strong smell, so that should help cover your scent. If it gets me home tonight, I'll manage. Grab your things and the blanket off the bed, and we'll depart at once. I head up and back down, quickly gathering everything I need. Having donned his sword, Agnar takes the blanket and uses it to line the inside of the sack. He then holds it open at my feet. The sack's kind of easy to see through on its own. This will obscure onlooker's vision and smooth out the impression your body makes so it's less obvious someone's inside. Hopefully it'll be more comfortable for you too. I step inside and look up at him, and now a bit uneasy about the whole thing. Now, you curl yourself up and remember, be still. Make sure you're in a comfortable position before we leave. I'll try not to make it rough for you on the way, but you're going to have to tough it out. Curling up, I can feel the blanket wrap around me, before being hefted up over the wolf's shoulder. My heart skips a beat when I feel how high up I am now. I really hope he keeps a firm grip. I don't want to fall to the hard ground from way up here. Are you ready, Aron? I fidget and settle, trying to find a comfy spot, then pull the unruly tail up against my belly. As ready as I'll ever be. And you, Lord Mikkel? I am, Sir Agnar. When he opens the door, I can hear the hustle and bustle of the streets. I should have taken a picture of the town before leaving, but it's too late now. I sway from side to side in the sack, bumping into his sword now and again. Agnar notices this and pulls me up slightly, making me rest closer against his body and sway less. My lord, wolf. We come to a sudden stop. I don't know who this gravelly... Oh, my lord, wolf. We come to a sudden stop. I don't know who this gravelly voice belongs to, but I can tell he's an old man. Hi, Gare. Good afternoon. Gare? Was that the turtle guy I met yesterday? Ah, I thought you was already in the woods, Wolf. What held you up? I've been tending to a traveler. I found him in poor condition 2 days ago, and I needed to ensure his recovery. You mean the twitchy lion with the odd clothes? I saw him the other day. Yep, it's the turtle guy, all right. He was looking at me with them big ol' eyes, bigger than what Nisser's done got. Those who don't know you might find your appearance alarming, my good sir. Oh, sure. Ain't my first time earning that. But tell me, if you's taking care of that piddly fellow, why's you both heading to the woods? We can't neglect our duties. The outsider's a grown deer. He can take care of himself for a few hours. We have to ensure the forest is safe for the hunt. My family would tan my hide if anything were to happen to the contestants this year. Ah, I see. Say, what you got in that sack? Tools needed for our excursion. Bait, traps, boundary markers, ropes. Shouldn't you be leaving the creatures to be still to the hunt starts? I'm just doing my job, Gare. Speaking of which, we need to get moving. We're losing precious daylight chatting away here. Don't mean to hold you up. Just keep an eye on that cat. I can tell he's the kind who brings trouble, I tells you. We'll keep that in mind. It was a pleasure talking with you, Mr. Gare. I hope to see you again soon. I hope not. If you says so, good luck in the forest. 1 second, y'all. Water time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's jump back into it, shall we? Alrighty. Finally, that interrogation was starting to unnerve me. After a while, the sounds of civilization have all faded away. Only the twittering of birds and the rustle of the breeze accompany our footsteps as we trek once again into the woods. I give Agnar a poke through the sack and whisper, "Can I come out now?" Not yet. We're out on the open road. Someone could still see us, even if we might not see them. Hold out just a little longer, Aron. It's not much farther to the forest. He walks on for a while longer, before taking a sharp turn. Agnar's footing becomes uneven. I can hear the crunching of leaves and twigs, so he must be off the beaten path. Another few minutes and... All right, we've arrived. The wolf comes to a stop, lowering me back onto the ground. I almost forgot which way was up before being crammed in that bag for so long. Springing out of the sack like a jack-in-the-box, I lift my arms high overhead and stretch to the fullest. Finally! Staying still like that was not as easy as I thought it would be. Lowering my arms, we three exchange perplexed looks. So, what do we do now? I'm glad you asked. I will enter the cave first while wearing the cloak, at which point it will align itself with the natural magics of the cave, just like how the witches of all... So you just go in there and it opens? It's a lot more complex than that, but yes. The magic is very delicate, however. You will have to wait out here until you see a light blue glow emanating from the tunnel. The cloak will open the gate between worlds, but not until I've reached the clearing. That glow will be your signal to enter. Wait here with Sir Agnar. This will only take a moment. The fox drapes himself in his cloak and scurries into the tunnel, leaving Agnar and myself standing by the entrance. I roll my shoulders and let out a sigh of relief. It's definitely been an adventure, but I'm very eager to get home. I glance at Agnar, who's staring into the cave. Have you been there before? To my world? I have not. But I've only heard Lord Mikkel's descriptions of what it's like, but it's difficult to understand any of it. My task here is usually just to make sure Lord Mikkel is able to come and go without being seen, warding off nosy passers-by, giving him an excuse to be in the forest, that sort of thing. Besides, the cloak only hides its wearer. I'd be too great a liability to bring with. The cloak can also hide someone? How does that work? That's what makes something a witch's relic. It's imbued with magic by a witch that once owned it. This one has the power to make its wearer unnoticeable. If I were to notice his presence, he'll appear as nothing more than a vague blur for a second before disappearing completely. At most, people think they're just seeing things. So that's why I've never heard anything about him back home. People couldn't see him. Until you, that is. Somehow you managed to see through the illusion. Could it be that was because it was in the cave already when he opened it? I cannot say. I wasn't taught much about magic or relics, but it sounds plausible. Something's not right. There's still no light coming from the tunnel. Maybe it takes time to start up, like a computer? A what? Never mind, bad example. I've watched him do this many times before, and it never took this long. We'd better go inside. He hurries in, with me following shortly behind. Once inside, we can see Mikkel feeling and examining the wall on the far side of the cave. Why is the gate not open yet? I don't know. It would usually take effect by the time I reach the tree. But now, there's nothing. He looks around, his eyes moving to me, then the tree, then back to the walls. I have a theory coming to mind right now that might explain this aberrance. But if true, would prove quite the problem. I swallow nervously, not liking where this is going. That being? In my studies about witch relics, I learned that enchanted items can be understood like a vessel that contains the magic. Imagine a sealed bottle holding a precious liquid. When the cork is removed, the liquid can escape. Similarly, when the cloak was damaged, it's possible the power stored within leaked out as well. I could feel dread deep in my stomach, holding my arms tight around myself. You mean to say that there's no magic left in it? Why didn't you mention this sooner? I thought it would still work if the torn seams were rewoven. Jesus, tongue twister. But I can see now that my assumptions were flawed. This is very likely no longer a witch's relic, just an ordinary old cloak. Does that mean I'm trapped here? Of course not. This is only a minor setback. There are other witch relics out there. Any one of them has the power to open the gates, no matter how simple the enchantment. We just need to acquire a new one. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Summerman. Thank you for going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Shresm Guy. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!